So happy Wednesday. On today's vlog, I'm going to be talking about a topic that could be considered blasphemous in our industry. As the title suggests, I don't believe advisors should ask for referrals the way they've been trained to do so in our industry. I'm going to talk just for a couple minutes on that and then give you some strategies for how to generate new business in a way that's more conducive to the way the consumer thinks and wants to be treated by a service provider. And so first things first, I get asked all the time, and I've heard this question Q&A in a number of workshops, but advisors often ask, isn't it strange when I ask somebody the question of, do you know anyone else who can benefit from our services? Or, would your, brother be interested in going through this experience with us? And the honest answer, and I don't know why we sort of avoid answering it this way, but the honest answer is that yes, for most people, that it feels awkward to be asked that question. And as I'll discuss in a second, it's really dependent on your personality style as the consumer, as the listener. But for the majority of people, yes, that's a weird ask. It puts people on the hook. It makes them feel like suddenly they're responsible, that they have to come up with something. People who have, fear of disappointment syndrome will then maybe avoid, somebody altogether because they can't come up with somebody good enough, or they feel responsible. And so yes, it is sort of a weird ask for most people, and I'll get to that in a second. And so I personally agree with the advisors who say, I just don't feel comfortable using that language. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, as a business owner, and the more you step into the business owner mindset, as a business owner, I want you to think of it as your responsibility. And when I say your, I don't just mean you as the producer, as the revenue generator, rainmaker. I mean meaning your team, your website, your platform, your services. As a business owner and service provider, it is your responsibility to generate new business, not the client's responsibility, especially when we're talking about an engagement where we're asking somebody to be incredibly vulnerable and really lay all of their, financial pain points on the line. We want them to really be present in that experience. And in my humble opinion, it's like being in a therapy session and at the end having the therapist say, hey, do you know anybody else who is really struggling with grief right now and could use therapy? I mean, so we want to give in a financial planning experience, the client the permission to just make it about themselves. That's the second thing. The third thing is that it's really hard for, I'll say, the average advisor or salesperson to transform that language into a casual conversation. And so what I mean by that is there are some advisors and there are some people who are very skilled communicators. And so when they say something like, we are really trying to grow our business and we're trying to increase our reach in the community, and we'd love for you to introduce us to anyone who fits a similar profile to you. There are some people who can make that sound really natural. They can actually make it sound really exciting. And so for those people, because there are advisors and producers who say, I've built my business on asking directly for referrals, likely those people have a specific, I call it the X factor or skill, that the majority of advisors and sales professionals don't have. And so communicating that ask in a way that makes the person feel excited and not on the hook is a skill that cannot be taught. Okay, so for those reasons, I think making that direct ask at the end of every meeting, incredibly difficult to do. And I want advisors to give themselves permission to not have to do that, to not have to hit their direct referral goal every single week. Now, that being said, how are you going to generate new business organically from current clients if you can't directly ask for referrals in the way we just talked about? So a couple things. The first thing I'd say is I want you to become more skilled at identifying that small group of people. And again, it's a small percentage of people in the world who actually enjoy not just giving referrals, but they enjoy being part of the solution. They enjoy being part of something greater than themselves. They really enjoy connecting others, but more than that, and I don't want to say it's an ego thing, but they enjoy feeling important. They enjoy feeling like they've been part of somebody else's success, even if they are the end client. These are the people who are, writing Yelp reviews, who are, constantly on Facebook promoting a product. Maybe they're even getting, paid an advertising fee from a company because they're so vocal about, promotion and helping other people succeed. That is a very small percentage of people, and it's not going to be every single person in your book of business. So identify those people that have that natural sort of joy around giving referrals, promoting, being an advocate, being an ambassador, being on a client advisory board. It's okay to ask those people. The second thing I'd say is, and sort of to caveat off of that, I am perfectly okay with an advisor setting aside time to talk to a client about the greater mission of the business. And so here we're sort of going about it in maybe a little bit of a sleuthy, sneaky way, but give people a reason to actually refer business to you. So instead of asking an advisor directly, a client directly rather, do you know anybody who would benefit from a financial planning experience? Set aside time with top clients to say, hey, I just want to give you an update on all the amazing things that we're doing this year. I mean, the same way you receive updates from any service provider you work with or engage with right now, right? You get an email about updates and enhancements and charitable work that they're doing. So set aside time to actually cue people about the value of your organization and the greater mission. Remember that especially the younger generations and people today want to feel like they're part of something bigger than themselves, especially Gen Y and millennials. And by the way, millennials aren't 25, right? Millennials are in their mid-30s now. So reframe that for yourselves. But set aside that conversation maybe once a quarter, once a year, where you say, hey, I just want to give you an update on all the fabulous things we're doing here, the organizations that we're involved with, the updates to our platform. We've added a relationship manager to the team. We are doing everything and anything we can to establish ourselves as XYZ. State your mission, state your vision. So actually get people excited about what it is that you're building. Second caveat to that, talk relentlessly about your business and the greater mission. If you are not here's one way to have to get around the idea of asking for referrals every day. Spend every single day of your life promoting your own business or practice or success as a financial planning organization on social and digital channels. Every single day talking about a problem you help somebody solve, about what you've learned as a result of being in quarantine the last 3 months, something special about clients, broadly speaking. By the way, folks, I know I'm going to get like the compliance, what about compliance emails, but be relentless about promoting what you do. By the way, if you have total conviction in what you're doing and how you help people, you never have to ask anybody for a referral ever again for the rest of your lives. That much conviction, that much excitement about what you're doing, talking consistently about the everyday problems you help people solve and tackle, talking about that on your platforms is what naturally gets people thinking about your business. And by the way, being willing to play the long game is critical here, because there are things that you may be putting on social media right now that may not be relevant to, a future consumer today. But when the time comes for them to solve a very specific problem, we want them thinking about you because you've been tweeting or posting or doing a vlog about challenges that you help people solve. And they've been listening to those for, X number of months or years. The last thing I'll say is make sure that you are running a referable practice. And this is an aspect of practice management that's been talked a lot about quite a bit in our industry. Are you actually, first of all, you're actually delivering value that's tangible? And are you capturing that value and showing it to the client, even in just a one-page summary at the end of every year? Give them something that allows them to sort of cue in all their accomplishments, feel good about themselves.